Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and April 8th marks the 21st year of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it's more relevant today than it was 21 years ago. Right now, I'm expecting the mother of all financial crashes to hit within a year to 18 months. So I'm preparing for this crash. And it's going to be probably 10 times bigger than 2008. Now, for most people, that's bad news. But for those who are prepared, it's good news. And as you know, I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad very simply because in 1971, the US dollar went off the gold standard. And so the US dollar became fake money. So today, there are three types of money in the world today. Number one is God's money. And God's money is gold and silver. You know, gold is atomic number 79, and silver is atomic number 47, I believe. And they were here before humans, and they'll be, gold and silver will be here long after humans are gone. And gold and silver have always been money. It's God's money. The second type of money is government money, and that's the US dollar. It's called fiat currency. The yuan, the euro, the peso, the yen. And I think those are going to disappear because they've been printing. They printed more money now than in 2008 than any other time in history. And then the third type of money is people's money or cyber currency. You know, the most popular are Bitcoin and Ethereum. I own lots of Ethereum. So anyway, this whole idea of going to school to get a job and work for money and save money, if you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, 21 years ago, is really a stupid idea. What did school teach you about money?
Not a lot, if anything.
And do you think that's an accident?
Probably not.
No, it's not. Okay. And every year, New Year's, the same old guys get on Today Show and CNBC. They say, oh, what advice do you have this? I said, oh, go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, and invest in a 401k. And that's how stupid people are. They have no idea what they're being told to do. They just follow like Pavlovian dogs and, you know, salivate when they ring the bell. Now, that's why I do what I do. So my question to everybody is this, you know, everybody says, well, do what you love. And I think that's really a silly idea because you really should invest in what you love. So you have to understand what's real today. My next book coming out this month is called Fake, because this world is full of fake money, fake teachers. The US dollar is fake. Most school teachers are fake, and most assets are fake, because in this next crash, they're going to find out the hard way that what they put their money in an IRA is going to be disappearing. It's going to be toast. So the question is, what's going to remain after the next crash? And that takes education. So I invest only in what I love. I love real estate. I love gold and silver. I love oil and gas. I'm an entrepreneur in real estate. I own 8,500 units. I love gold and silver. I have millions in gold and silver. I've started a gold mine and a silver mine, taken them public on the Toronto Stock Exchange. And I love oil and gas. I went to school to be an oil and gas tanker driver. I drive oil. If you're an entrepreneur, a small entrepreneur with less than 500 employees, you'll pay the highest taxes of all. And even with the Trump tax cuts, they got a break from 60% tax down to 50% tax, but they're temporary. The employee class, if you read the quadrant, the employee class, they got a slight tax break, but they lost deductions. So let that settle into your head. So Trump gave them a tax break, but they have fewer deductions. Now, the tax break is temporary. The deductions, the loss of deductions is permanent. We let those thoughts settle in your head. You understand why going to school to get a job or be a small entrepreneur is possibly the worst positions you can be in without further what I call real financial education. Look, the most thing is if you go to school, it's at the bottom of the coin. It's down here. This is what going to school does. It's called reading and lecture. And so all the academic geniuses, like my poor dad, they're really good at reading and they're good at lecturing. If you look at the top of the coin up here, cone, the two best ways, or the very best ways, are doing the real thing and then simulations. So we're going to get together, we're going to play the cash flow game. The cash flow game is a simulation. The most successful people in the world are always running simulations in real life, real time. So I play cash flow. I played the cash flow game so people could simulate what it's like to go through being a professional investor. And you don't have to do it with real money. The trouble is most people who are employees and they shift to being small entrepreneurs, they're still in their heads because they went to school. My classmates were all these PhDs and all that. I make more money in a day than they make in a year. But I have a degree from Stanford. I go, yeah, 30, 50 years ago. He said, the trouble is, if you're going to school, it freezes your brain in time. So the reason the cash flow game is a simulation, again, it's at the top of the cone of learning. You can see it. It's simulation. When I was a pilot getting ready to go to Vietnam, I practiced crashing every single day. I simulated a crash. And when it happened for real, it happened 3 times in Vietnam. I went down 3 times. But because I practiced it every single day, when it happened, I lived. So I'm saying there's a crash coming. May not be 2018, possibly by 2019, definitely by 2020. Robert, what's going to happen is guys like me will get richer, and the guys with their college degrees will get poorer. So that's what's going to happen. So that's why I'm excited about coming to teach the cash flow game, but you guys have got to be willing to practice. You don't just play one game once. You don't learn to be a pro golfer practicing once. And that's where most people are when they start businesses. They get this idea, I'm going to start a company. They've taken no classes on it. They don't have the skill set. They don't have the mindset. They don't understand debt. They don't understand taxes. And then they wonder why they're going to annihilate it out in the real world. That's the difference. I had a rich dad who kicked my ass. And that's what I do. I'm a Marine. I don't believe in, sensitivity training. Well, I think the most important thing is by a guy I met through your organization, Hal Elrod. His book, Miracle Morning, is the best book for, the guys who are getting ahead meditate and they study and they exercise. So Hal Elrod's book just changed my life because I would go up and I drink my 5 cups of coffee and then go to work and then exercise when I'm through. So Miracle Morning is I get up, I meditate for half an hour, and I read spiritual books. Then I do scribing. I write down what I'm grateful for and all this stuff. And I do about 10 minutes of light exercise. I still work out. But the most important practice is Hal Elrod's book, Miracle Morning. How do you start your morning? And I know when I talk to most guys, all they think about is their to-do list. And they don't ever practice anything then. They just practice checking off their to-do list. And I meet so many guys and women who are not successful. So when I tell them, look, it's just Miracle Morning. Meditate for half an hour, read for 10 minutes, exercise for 10 minutes, just get your body going. Write down what you're grateful for. Then you hit your to-do list. That is possibly the biggest change in the last few years of my life, because I have everything. I've written 2 books with the President of the United States. I had the most gorgeous, rich wife on planet Earth. I have more money than I could ever spend. I don't need any more Ferraris. I don't need anything more. But the thing that Hal's book does, I'm going on a cruise to Puerto Rico. I'm taking Hal's book with me, plus my meditation books.